Hi, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone. No matter where you're joining us from, we're really excited to have you for BrowserStack's first ever manual testing bootcamp. So, to everyone who's joining in, it's going to be a one of a kind hands on workshop. So, thanks so much for joining us and giving us your time. Um, can we go to the next slide, please? A couple of housekeeping items before we begin. Um, my name is Swati, and I am going to be the moderator for today. As you can see on the screen, the session is scheduled for 60 minutes. So there will be 45 minutes of presentation followed by Q&A. Everyone is on mute, but we love interaction. So keep those questions flowing on the Q&A tab. Uh, we will answer your questions. So I've got a lot of product experts live with us on the call, and they can help you with your queries. The session is also being recorded. So don't worry if you miss out on anything. We will share the recording after the session, and you can then forward that to your teammates. Also, at any point during the workshop, you're not able to access the product or follow us through, please feel free to ping us on chat and we'll try our best to help you. Next slide. All right. So I take immense pleasure in introducing the instructors for today. Prateek and Simran, would you like to quickly say hi?
Hello everyone, myself Pratik from customer engineering team at BrowserStack, and we closely work with the clients to solve their technical queries. Over
Thanks,
to you,
Prateek.
Simran.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Simran Chawla from the customer engineering team in BrowserStack, and I'm excited to assist you in today's manual testing session. We'll cover a variety of use cases that could be beneficial for your testing process. So, yeah, looking forward to your question and engaging discussion.
Great, awesome. Thanks both. Can we move to the next slide, please? So what you see on the screen is the agenda for today. I'll first walk you through BrowserStack's end-to-end platform vision, and then quickly talk about what's new, our brand new tool, Bug Capture. And then I'll quickly introduce Live and App Live. I'm sure a lot of you must already be familiar with these products, but a quick introduction doesn't really harm. After that, we will deep dive into the workshop. We'll have Simran and Prateek walk us through these features, and you can all follow through. I'm sure you really can't wait. And then we'll have the floor open for Q&A. Moving on. Okay, so before we dive into the workshop, I would request everyone to get access to the product. So I'll be sharing a link in the chat window. Please access the same and try to sign in into our product. So this link gives you access to all the pro features for a couple of days. So it's not just during this workshop. Like we promised, everybody gets access to pro features for free. So for a couple of days, you can play around and you can really explore the strength of our manual testing products. So if you click on this link and if you see something like on the left, that means that you already have access to the company-wide license, which is nothing but the pro plan of Live and App Live. So you can just click ignore and continue to use your account. In the instance that you don't get something like on the left, then please see the screen on the right. It'll request you to sign in. So please sign in and you'll be part of a group called Workshop at BrowserStack. And then you can continue to use the pro features and follow. Yes, Josh? You can't see any link? I'm sharing the link again. Okay, just one sec. Can you all see the link now? Great. So please use this link and let me know if you can sign in and be a part of the team workshop at BrowserStack. So while you're all trying to get access to the product, we'll just move on to the next slide. Please let us know in the chat window in case there's any difficulty, but I'm sure everybody will be able to get access. Okay, so what you see on the screen is our unified platform vision. We know traditionally testing is extremely difficult. It's quite costly and it's very time consuming. So what our leaders, have envisioned for us is basically a one platform wherein you can solve the problems for the entire testing life cycle, right? So the vision here or our goal is essentially to remove all the fragmented tool chain and make it a single unified platform wherein you can plan test cases through our tool test case management. You can create test cases through LCNC, and of course, you can execute different types of testing, manual testing, automation, functional, visual, accessibility through our various products. And ultimately, you can look at the insights in our reporting tools. So, we're really happy to have you all look at our vision and support us through this journey. Moving on to the next slide. Great. So, sometime last month, I think we acquired Bird Eats Bug, and we're really thrilled to have them as a part of our family. I've got Dan with me on the call, who's the founder of Bird Eats Bug, which is actually now BrowserStack Bug Capture. It's a tool that helps you debug at great speed. So we'll have Dan showcase the tool quickly, and then we will deep dive into live and app live. Dan, over to you.
Thanks, Swati. So yes, as Swati mentioned, bug capture allows you to report the bug a lot quicker, first of all. And secondly, engineers love it, or they love it, the engineers, the bug reports that bug capture provides because they have all of the technical data available to them, which means that less than 3% of the bug reports reported with bug capture require follow-up questions from the engineers. So let me quickly show you a demo, because it's way easier to understand what the product does during the demo. So as you can see, I have a page, and let's say we've just deployed, I'm testing a new feature. So I can already see that this image is broken. And then if I say I want this color and I want 2 of it, and then I say add to cart, nothing happens. I say buy now, still nothing happens. And then if I say view cart, it's empty. So clearly, this is a bug that I need to report to the engineers. So luckily, I already have the bug capture extension installed, and we support all Chromium-based browsers. So with the extension, I have a few choices. First of all, I can take a screenshot. In this case, it's not very helpful because it's a bug in the business logic and not just a typo. I can also record my screen. But in this case, I would need to go back and reproduce. But I would be able to also, for example, include the microphone recording to explain what I'm experiencing and what the expected behavior is. But I think the coolest part about bug capture is something that we call replay, which is great, especially for the bugs that are hard to reproduce. So in this case, I can just click Watch Replay, and bug capture exports the last couple of minutes of my action, so you can see the visual proof here, and we see the mouse movement and so on. And also, it automatically captured, and like it doesn't require any configuration or technical knowledge. So this all happened behind the scene and all automatically. It has captured the console logs, the network logs. So this is, of course, the interaction or the communication basically between the backend and the front end, and then also the payload and so on. We have general system information that is, annoying to include all the time, and a lot of the time people forget to do this. And also a feature that we call end-to-end helper, which allows to convert any recording with bug capture to an automated test script. You will still need to define the assertions, but it gets you, let's say, 80% of the way there. So from here, I can say this is a title, and then I can upload it to our workspace. And then, as you notice, we immediately copy the link so you can share it to on Slack with an engineer, for example. And then also we have some integrations, as you can see here. So once I uploaded the bug, it has automatically been pushed to a Slack channel in case somebody needs to review it. And also a Jira ticket has automatically been created. And we have other integrations with popular tools like GitHub and so on. So to recap, bug capture helps to create bug reports about 50% faster, and also it saves about 30% of debugging time for the engineers. So I really encourage you to try it in your daily testing activities. It doesn't need to be in the when you're testing in live browser. You can just install it and have it on your Chrome or other Chromium-based browser all the time. And every time you report a bug, you can use bug capture and save yourself a lot of pain. So thank you, and with that, I'll hand over back to Swati.
Thanks, Dan. Again, I can see a lot of reaction from the audience. We're really thrilled to have you on board. Simran, can you share your screen again? Okay, so I will be launching a poll question before we dive into the workshop. So here you go. Wow, interesting. %78% participation in the poll, is waiting for it to be around 90, and then I think we can end the poll and then get into the workshop. Looks like most of the audience is focusing on web testing, and most of them are also doing both. So we'll first start with the workshop with live and then move to app live. Okay. Great. Next slide, please, Simran. Okay, so before we get on to the workshop, a very quick introduction to Live and App Live. Both of these are our manual testing products. With Live, you can test websites and web apps. And with App Live, you can test mobile applications, both Android and iOS. Both help you in, testing in different browsers and devices. And with both of these products, you can mimic a real-time customer experience and ensure that your websites and mobile applications are working seamlessly. Can we just quickly go to the next slide? Yeah. So a very brief introduction of App Live as well. I think there are quite a very useful features, like you can test image upload, download, barcode scanning. And I think a lot of these interesting use cases we'll have the instructors cover and you can follow through. So just getting into the workshop. Next slide, please. Okay, let's get started. So Prateek, over to you.
Hello everyone, let me share my screen and let's start with the first tool that we have is the live. So I think most of you guys have visited our dashboard for live.browserstack.com, which is used for the testing of your web applications, either on the desktop browsers and also on the mobile browsers. So just as an introduction, as you would be already seeing on the left-hand side panel, we are having different Mac and Mac versions, the Windows and the Windows version, the Android, and there are specific different OEMs and different devices on the Android version, and the iOS. For the demonstration purpose, let's start with a Windows machine and a particular browser over here. And now a real browser at the BrowserStack data center is getting assigned over here. Now, before starting with our end-to-end flow that we would be performing over here, you guys have already created your test cases as a first step in your test case management tool, either on the Excel or on the Jira. At BrowserStack, we have our BrowserStack test case management tool where we already have our end-to-end test case being prepared over there. Now, once the test case is being prepared at the test management tool, now we can move ahead with the manual testing of the same. And this is a VM that has been assigned. And in the browser, we can mention our particular URL which we want to test. Let's mention www.bstackdemo.com. So this is a e-commerce website where you can normally do all of the interaction as you would be doing on your normal browser. You can scroll, sign in, add to cart, send keys. All of this would be working as a normal browser in the VM as well. So let's perform this flow, add to cart, checkout, and let's fill some demo data over here. And let's do the checkout. So as you can see, you can do the scroll and clicks and the send keys all through your keyboard inside the particular browser that you have. Now, apart from this, there could be also the advanced use cases over here that comes as a part of the Pro plan, which you guys have currently access for. So one of the features starting with is the local testing. Now, let's suppose your website is behind any firewall or is running on your local host and you want to test that on the different browser OS combination on the BrowserStack. So for that, we have this local testing feature in place. What local testing does is it creates a secure socket tunnel from your specific device to the BrowserStack remote device, and all the network request is been transferred via your machine. So this is how the website, which is only been accessible to your machine, is now you can test on the BrowserStack as well. So for using this feature, you need to download the BrowserStack local application. I already have that application on my end. So let me launch it directly. So now my local testing is getting enabled. And once the local testing is enabled, this is a sample website that I have created for the on the local host for demonstration purpose. Let's take this and let's try like whether we are able to access this website on the BrowserStack or not. Okay, so now yeah, we are able to access this website, which is running on my local host, and we can perform all of the testing over here. Apart from this, in the side dock, you can see we also have the option to record the session. In case you want to record the complete end-to-end session, you can record this session and download the recording as well. Apart from this, we also have this tool where we can resize the browser over here and check how our application is responsive or not, and how it would be working on the different resolutions. So for that, let's open our old website, which was bstackdemo.com, and let's close the local testing as well for that time. Okay, it would be updating the setting. Just let's wait for a couple of seconds. And we also have this bookmark feature where I have already bookmarked this URL so that I need not to every time enter the URL. So you can bookmark all of the URLs that you want to test, just copy it and Control A, Control V, and it would paste the same website that we were testing over here. And this is the resolution one where you can just switch to different resolutions and it would be switching, and you can check how responsive your application is and how this has been behaving. Apart from this, let's suppose while testing, you got any particular bug and you want to report this to the bug reporting tool. So on BrowserStack, we have integration with the different bug reporting tool. As you can see, this report to Trello, we can click over here and it will would be directly taking the image. You can edit this text, highlight a specific area that would be needed, enter some text over here. You can make a line, or let's enter error and like select the particular board where we want to log this error, and you can log the same with the populated data of the on which specific browser and OS version you have absorbed this. Apart from this, we have integrations with different bug reporting tools. You can also integrate with Jira and report directly to the Jira or Slack or GitHub. And also, in case you want to download this image or email to any of your colleagues, same could be done from our tool itself. Need not to go to any other dashboard. Now let's cancel this. And coming next, we have this settings panel where you can increase your ideal session timeout. Let's suppose you want to check like after 10 minutes or 15 minutes how the application would be behaving. So you can just make this ideal session timeout for 220 minutes and others. Now coming to the next, we have this change location feature. Now let's suppose on an e-commerce website, there are different offers for regard or to link to different locations. Now let's suppose for US, the offers have been different, and for India, the offers have been different. So you can mock your location by setting up over here. Let's select California and just select it and select yes. Now the IP location of the VM would be mocked to the California or the particular state or country that you have selected, and the website would be behaving like it has been accessed to the specific place. Now coming to the next, we have the screen reader feature, which is a part of the accessibility tool. So we have an accessibility product different over here in the where you can do a scan of your website, and it would be scanning like each of the components is according to the WCAG guidelines or not. Apart from this screen reader also comes under the accessibility and is a part of the live product. So we can just enable the screen reader over here, and once you enable it, any particular place that you
Stack demo Google Chrome. Stack demo. Clickable visited link www.stackdemo.com visited link iPhone 12. Offers, orders, favorites, iPhone 12.
Hope you guys are able to hear the audio over here for the screen reader. This is how it would be helping the visually impaired people just to hover and check to use your specific web application. Now coming to the next, we have this file upload feature over here where you can upload, let's suppose, any particular files or the images as well. Let's suppose you have a QR scan feature. So the same could be done using the image injection. Let me upload a particular QR over here, and let's open a website to show you like how this would be working. By that time, let me copy a sample website. This is the sample website where we would be testing it out. And now in the files media upload, you see this is the image that we just uploaded from our particular my machine. Okay, let me open any specific website to capture the image. So as you can see, it has captured the image directly, like our cameras are taped, so it would have captured the black screen, but that black screen is been replaced by the image that we have uploaded over here. So this is how the image injection features work on the BrowserStack. So this was it for all of the features and how you can use it on the BrowserStack and test your particular website. Hope you guys are able to follow me over here. Any queries, feel free to put in the chat section. I would be answering it. Over to you, Simran.
Yeah, thank you, Pratik, for the great demonstration. Let me share my screen. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So now we are going to see like how AppLive works. So if you'll log into applive.browserstack.com using your credentials, you'll able to see this particular dashboard of AppLive. So now coming on to section like how you can upload your application. So we have multiple ways how you can upload your application. If you have IPA file or APK file with you, you can directly upload it from here. And if you have an integration with Firebase or you can even sync it with the App Center. You can also install your application via Test Lite, Play Store, or App Store. So if you have your APK or IPA file handy right now, so I would request everyone to try it out alongside. So yeah, I will be uploading this app through the IPA file that I already have. Let me just upload an application. So yeah, now I have uploaded the application to the app live. And on the right hand side, you'll able to see different devices that BrowserStack offers. We have different iOS devices, including the iPads as well. We have different Android devices as well, with different manufacturers, be it Samsung, Google, OnePlus, or much more. So yeah. So my IPA file is already been uploaded here. Now I will select a device from these list of devices. Let me select iPhone 14 Plus. And now the session has been started. And the app live session has been connecting to a real device cloud. Basically, all the devices of the browser stack sits in the device data center, and the device will be allocated from the nearest data center of your location. Once the device has been allocated, if you can see now, installation of application has taken place on the particular device. And now my application has been opened up. So you can perform end-to-end testing on this device, whether it's like you wanted to scroll down, or you wanted to add to the cart, or you wanted to mark it as favorite. You can do as many things as you want on this. We also have certain iOS settings over here, so which actually comes under Pro plan, and we already have provided you the Pro plan so that you can actually test all the advanced use cases, whether it's device passcode. So let's say your application requires a device passcode. You can just toggle this, enable this device passcode, and you'll be able to see the device passcode screen whenever it is required in your application. If you wanted to see the offline mode simulation, so it is nothing but, let's say you wanted to test your application with no internet connectivity, so you can also test that application. And so let's say you wanted to test your application in a dark mode. To check the foreground content, you can just toggle from here. uh, and we also have something called low battery mode. It is pretty much clear from the name itself that you wanted to test your application on a low battery mode. If at certain time, if your app crashes, you can also fetch those particular logs. We have some kind of general settings as well. That is, you can change the device name. You can also set the date and time of the of this device. Be it like automatically you can set it, or you can also manually provide the time and the time zone. We also have accessibility settings that are there in the iOS real devices also. You can also set it on these devices. So you can actually increase or decrease the text size. You can increase the contrast, larger the accessibility size, and you can also reduce the motion. And just wanted to mention that we also have a dedicated accessibility testing platform in BrowserStack. So through which you can actually check the performance of your application, like is it WCAG, it is actually compliant to WCAG guidelines or not, if it is following all the rules and regulation. And if you wanted your application to be accessible to the larger number of audience, you can explore the app accessibility of that provides in the browser stack as well. So yeah, these are certain settings. Coming to the rotate part, so let's say you wanted to test the orientation of your application in a landscape or a portrait mode. So you can actually rotate the device from here. Uh, Location, I think Pratik already have covered. You can set the GPS and the IP location of the device. you can actually throttle the network simulation. So let's say you wanted to test your application's performance on 2G or a 4G with a high latency mode, or even if you wanted to provide a custom download or upload speed with a loss and latency, you can provide that as well and create your own network profile and simulate the network conditions on that. So yeah, there is an option where you can upload and download the files also. It is the same feature that Pratika has already shown you in the live also. Similarly, you can inject the images and you can also inject the audio as well. So let me just stop this session and show you like how you can do certain advanced use cases also. So if you can see on this application, we have this gear icon. So once you click on it, you'll able to see some of the advanced features over here. One is biometric authentication. So let's say your app requires touch ID, face recognition, or fingerprint recognition. You can just turn this on. And for the image injection also, you have to turn this on. And now I'm selecting this biometric authentication and I'll select the uh, Android device over here. I hope everyone is following me and testing on real devices. If you feel if you have any questions or feel any difficulties, just drop it into a chat. So as you can see, biometric authentication has been enabled. So these are the dev tools that actually provide you all the console logs related to device and your application. And if you wanted to inspect the UI element also, you can just click on this play button and you can actually click on any of the UI content over here. So let me select this camera intent and you'll able to see all the properties related to this UI element. So now, if you wanted to check the performance of your application, this is the basically the front end performance of your application. So you can start the performance profiling. Once you start the performance profiling, it will give you the data like app CPU usage, app memory usage, so app power consumption as well. So this is the one through which you can actually test the front end performance of your application. Once you stop the profiling, you'll able to see a full-fledged reporting as well. So yeah, if you'll click on this view full report, you'll able to see all the reports related to front-end performance, like issue detected, and what is the app size, and what is the memory usage and everything. So the high-level report you'll get over here. Okay, so now I'm exiting the dev tool. Coming on to the biometric authentication. So we enable the biometric authentication when we were starting the application on this particular device. So if I'll click on this biometric prompt, basically uh, it will show me the pop-up from where you can actually pass this biometric authentication, fail this biometric authentication, like however you wanted to proceed, you can do that. So let me just pass this authentication and you'll see authentication succeeded. So this is the feature you can perform. We also have parallel testing, so you can add another device as well. So let's say there is the same application for Android and for the iOS as well, and you wanted to test it simultaneously, so you can do that as well. Or if you wanted to select like any other application on any other devices, you can do that as well. So yeah, let me just select any other application on any other device. So this is how it works. It will be connecting to a device that I have just selected and open up the app. and you can test this simultaneously. And on the left hand side, you'll able to see the single device control as well. So from here, if you wanted to control the device Google Pixel 7, so you can select that and control that particular device. And there is having all device control as well, so you can select those as also. So let me just stop one of the session over here. So this is the functionality where you can kill all the process of your application, or if you wanted to uninstall permanently your application from this particular device, so you can do that as well. You can also install a new application. So let's say your application is having a dependency on another application. So let's say you wanted to, so let's say your main application is having a dependency on payment applications. So what you can do, you can just install the another application and see the integration and everything, if it is working fine or not. So source will remain the same. You can upload it via Play Store, or you can upload the APK file as well. So yeah. Uh, okay, so you can also capture a particular screenshot. Let's say you find any bug over here, so you can just capture the screenshot, or even if you wanted to document it, so you can do that as well. Uh, yeah, so if you wanted to switch a device in between, you think that you wanted to test the same application on a different device, so you can select another device also. It will start a new device with the same application installed on that. Coming to the local testing part, as Pratik has already covered, similarly in App Live also, if your application is under any lower environment, so you can just turn on this local testing and start testing your application. You can also record the session. You can also report the bug on any bug tracking tool we have with Jira, Trello, Azure. So yeah. So yeah, this is all about App Live. We also have SIM enabled devices, which are actually a part of Pro plan. So if you wanted to do interruption testing, or like OTP testing and something like that, for that use cases, we have SIM enabled devices as well. So yeah, this is all about App Live. Hope you were able to follow me. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask in the chat. So yeah, over to you, Swati.
Wow, it's raining reactions. Thanks, Simran. Thank you, Pratik. We've got a ton of questions as well, and some of them have been answered live. So, Simran, can you share your screen again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll now quickly launch the next poll question. So you've seen various capabilities of manual testing in action. We would like to understand, what do you think adds most value to you and your team? %37% have participated, waiting for it to go up to 80. %60%. Come on, everybody. Let us know. Any guesses? Okay. I am going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results. So it's testing on multiple devices in parallel that seems to be the most value, and then followed by local testing. So going back to the deck, can you please go to the next slide? Okay, so since it's our first boot camp, we also wanted to give away an exclusive offer for all the attendees. So what you see on the screen is our company-wide license plan, wherein essentially all of you get the benefit of paying less, 90% less per user. And you get access to the best of BrowserStack. So essentially, you get access to Live and App Live Pro plan at 90% less cost. And this also eases your license management because you can keep adding users and eliminating licenses. So with company-wide plan, you can scale with all of your team. And as your team grows or as folks leave and come in, everybody gets access. So it's something that we're giving away exclusively for all the attendees in the webinar. Feel free to reach out to us after the webinar, and then we'll let you know more about this. Next slide. Okay, I will quickly launch the last poll. Now that you've seen all of our manual testing products in action, we wanted to understand if you'd like to, get in touch with us and know more about some of our products. Please make the most of the company-wide license plan. It's one of a kind. You can have not just the developers, but even the marketing teams get on board and check how the app's rendering or how some of the banners are working and not working. And it's extremely powerful, I think, for different stakeholders in your organization. 50% have responded, requesting the others to please help us with your responses. And then I think we will open the floor for Q&A. Okay, I think last few seconds. If we can amp the participation rate on the survey from 60 to 70, that'll be great. I know you're all really waiting to get in touch with all the panelists and get their responses. So I'm going to now end the poll. Going back. All right, can you go to the next slide, Simran? Okay, so now we open the floor for Q&A. I think a lot of the questions have been answered, but there are two that I said we will take live. So the first one is by someone who said, just one second. My bad, guys, seasonal allergies. Okay, so what can we do in terms of performance? Currently, we don't have such feature in our license. So could you please demonstrate? I don't think I understand this question. In terms of performance testing, you mean? Prateek, Simran, any take on that?
Yes, Swati. So if this is regarding the performance testing, so there are two things over here. First, coming to the web application part, we have the Speed Labs, which is the BrowserStack free tool, which you guys can use to do the performance-based testing for your web application. And for the mobile applications, that is your APK and IPA file, we have app front-end performance, which Simran has demonstrated in the demo that can be used for the performance testing of web and mobile applications.
Okay. I hope that answers the question. Thanks, Prateek. The next one is, suppose there is price on the page that is dynamic and it is changing. How do you handle these type of scenarios?
First of all, this is regarding what we need to test over here. There are dynamic prices and it has been changing. So what need to be tested or verified in that particular scenario? First of all, we would be needing those questions, like further more elaboration on this.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Shashank means that there's some dynamic pricing and he wants to see if the pricing is changing or not.
So that would be visible if there is a dynamic pricing. Let's suppose it is the pricing is based upon the IP locations. Let's suppose when the website is being used in US, the price are shown in US dollars, and when it has been accessed from India, it has been showing in Indian rupees. So as soon as you would be mocking the location to different places, it would be showcasing you the different prices over there. In case, let's suppose you have the dynamic pricing that has been changing every day for, let's suppose, in an Indian rupees itself. Today is some sale and you have some different pricing, and yesterday you have a different pricing. So you can verify that either manually as well and with the automation with your scripts as well.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Prateek. Yeah, I'm sure they can do dynamic price testing as well.
Okay, I think Shashank has just mentioned this is regarding the Percy. So on Percy, we have a feature called ignore region. So you can mark the particular area to ignore from the comparison, and then wherever the dynamic elements are being present, that won't be compared in Percy over there. And now in Percy, there is an also option to pass the Percy CSS, where you can pass the CSS of that particular element to hide, and then that particular element won't be captured, visibility to none, and then that won't be captured in the screenshot. These are the two ways you can handle such situation in Percy.
Okay, all right. Think I'm going to go to James' question. Is it possible to have the browser cache carry over from one browser to another? This greatly slows the testing of our website.
So from like in a single session that you get access on the BrowserStack, or as soon as you end the session, all the particular devices and the browsers goes through a thorough reset process, VM, and then again it is added back to pool. So as soon as the session ends, there is no cache that is been remaining. So anytime you get any device, it is in fresh pristine stage. So it can't be carry forward in next session. In the single session, it can be done.
Okay, all right. I have a very interesting question. So Frank says, why should an organization choose BrowserStack over other tools in terms of cost, efficiency, documentation, data capture, reporting? So Prateek, do you want to take this? I can also take this.
Swati, you can take this up.
So, Frank, I think there are quite a few reasons, right? Like we showed you our vision, which is an unified testing platform. In fact, as we go and proceed further in the coming months, we are also trying to leverage AI capabilities and make our platform the best. We are already the market leaders today. So, in terms of cost and efficiency, we are the market leaders. We have data centers, I think more than 19 in different parts of the world, and our latency is minimum, and hence you can see the difference when you actually use our tools and compare them to others. So yeah, happy to connect further with you and let you know and answer any of your other queries. Moving on to Natalia's question, can I use it with Playwright automated test cases?
Yes, BrowserStack can be used with your Playwright automation as well. We have a product called BrowserStack Automate, which can be used, and you can integrate and run your test on all the browser OS combination that you have seen with the Playwright as well.
Okay. Shashank is asking, I would like to know more about the integration of automation tool with Playwright. Okay, I think you already answered this, right? Uh, how can I use this with web automation using Selenium?
For using Selenium, first of all, Selenium is a record and playback tool. And in case your scripts have been written in the Selenium, same can be integrated with the BrowserStack. Automate with a simple, we have the SDK over place, which is a plug and play tool. Hope you guys can just jump to the BrowserStack documentation and select Selenium over there and particular language framework that you would be using. We have a pretty thorough doc where few couple of steps and you can just follow the steps and it would get integrated. In case you face any challenges or hurdle, you can reach to our support team as well, which is support@browserstack.com. Just email to them, they would be helping you anytime.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Any other questions? We've got Dan also on the call with us. If you'd like to ask, is it possible to automate the end-to-end when the site has a two-factor authentication, I think?
Sorry, Swati, can you get back regarding two-factor
There's
authentication?
a question from Roel. It's about two-factor authentication. So he's saying, is it possible to automate when the site has a two-factor authentication? Automate the E2E.
Understood. So for two-factor authentication, if it is something that could be accessible, like whatever your OTP or the particular code is been accessible via an API, then this can be done. And with most of the customers, what I have seen, generally for the testing environment, they disable the two-factor authentication because it is very tough to automate that in real world. And apart from that, there are other customers where they get the particular OTP or the particular code using an API, they fetch it out and use the same for the testing purpose.
Okay, great. Anybody else, any questions around company-wide license or app accessibility or test case management or any of the other tools or features demonstrated? Please use this opportunity. We've got all of the product experts here. So we've got product managers from Live and App Live on the call. Okay. I don't see any further questions. Okay, so I think thank you everyone for giving us your time. We will reach out. Okay, Anne, have you raised your hand? Okay, one sec. I will let you talk. Anne, would you like to ask us a question? Okay. All right. So with that, we conclude the first ever manual testing bootcamp. I hope you all found it extremely useful. Please do leave us feedback. Feel free to send us an email and we can respond to you. We will get in touch with you post this webinar. Next slide. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.